Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 25,000 classes in design, business, technology, and more. There are classes for all sorts of desired skills, from app design to painting, to even learning how to cook simple and healthy everyday meals. Skillshare gives you access to high-quality classes taught by well-experienced and certified experts working in their field. For an annual subscription, Skillshare is just under $10 a month. However, we have a special offer for all of you watching. The first 500 people to use the link below in the description will receive a 2-month free subscription with all the 25,000 Skillshare classes unlocked. We are excited to see what you guys end up creating or how you end up improving your life using Skillshare. So feel free to post your stories below in the comments over the next few weeks on our upcoming videos. We'll be more than happy to highlight a few of your experiences in our future videos and show off any great success stories that have developed from using Skillshare. Don't miss your chance at getting a possible 2-month free subscription by using the link in the description below. Those in the bounty hunting profession in the Star Wars galaxy ranged in both skill and personalities. Some hunters were very professional and were quite honorable at the job, viewing it only as a business and nothing more. A few others enjoyed the thrill of the hunt itself and took some pleasure in getting the kill or capture of their targets. But even then, they mainly only did it for the credits. And then there was Aurra Sing, who was perhaps the cruelest and most insane bounty hunter to ever exist. Unlike most others, Singh hunted more to satisfy her bloodlust than for the credits. To give you an idea of this, she's the type of person who slaughtered an entire Coruscant police force, only to leave one member alive so that she could torture the man in bondage, as a way to draw out a team of Jedi who felt the disturbance in the Force. Then she ambushed said Jedi team so she could kill them right in front of one of their Padawans, taunting the Padawan of her master's death until the child cried, and finally tell the now masterless Padawan to run back to the temple so that she can train to become a knight, just so that she can later meet the same fate as her master. You know that antenna in her head? While it did serve the practical use of allowing Singh to contact her allies directly from her brain, its primary purpose was to increase the amount of pain and suffering she felt from her victims, just to satisfy the sadistic pleasure she constantly craved. Another example of her insanity and unhinged willingness to achieve her goals was during her one hunt on a bounty that was hiding within the deep caves of Hoth. Her target was protected by a small army of wampas that were mind-controlled through headgear to do his bidding. Determined to murder the man, Singh killed and skinned one of the wampas so that she could wear it as a disguise to infiltrate her target's cave. Needless to say, her target was not prepared to see her burst out of one of his wampas, and he was swiftly killed as a result by his hunter. With all that being said, why did Singh become so cruel, and how was she able to take on Jedi all on her own, besting them with their own weapons? Aurra Sing was born on the Hutt-controlled planet Nar Shaddaa to a drug-addicted mother. When she was still quite young, a Jedi came across her and noticed that she was Force-sensitive. As a result, Singh was taken to the temple to be trained in the ways of the Force. Due to her harsh upbringing and early violent tendencies, Singh was given over to the Jedi Master known as the Dark Woman, who specialized in training unique students. As a Padawan, Singh did not get along with her master, who was far too strict in her teachings. However, her time as a Jedi Padawan quickly came to an end when Singh was kidnapped during a mission by pirates. They later sold her to a Hutt, who realized that she was once a Padawan of the Jedi Order. Her new master then forced her into an Anzadi assassin training school that was infamous for crafting some of the most brutal and dangerous assassins to ever serve in the entire galaxy. While there, Singh came to despise her former Jedi Master and the Order as a whole due to them abandoning her when she was kidnapped. At the assassin school, Singh was forced to undergo training in one of the most barbaric environments she could have imagined, where she witnessed a few of her fellow students get straight up murdered by their very instructor over simple mistakes or just as a demonstration for the rest of the class. It was here she was trained not only to be a killing machine, but also to enjoy the act of taking another being's life. When she passed all her trials at the assassin school, Singh served as a personal hunter for her Hutt master until she got sick of him and disposed of him. After that, she went rogue and became a bounty hunter, quickly making a name for herself as she used both her Jedi and assassin training to hunt down her targets. Her preferred targets were always Jedi, with her at times even hunting them for fun, as she enjoyed the thrill of getting revenge on them, as well as having her name be spread among the temple as someone to be feared. She also had a collection of lightsabers that she took from her fallen victims. At some point during her early career, Singh came across Django Fett, who she had taken a great liking to. Django himself actually felt deep sympathy for her after learning of her upbringing, later telling himself that she had not chosen bounty hunting as a profession. Bounty hunting had chosen her. Singh would later take up a short mentorship of Django's son, Boba Fett, where she taught him some of the crueler tactics of being a bounty hunter, though they parted ways after Boba was arrested by the Republic. While Singh enjoyed the hunt of Jedi, her prime target was her former master, the Dark Woman, as she blamed most of her suffering on her former master's failure of keeping her safe. She went on to discover the Dark Woman's planet of self-exile, attempting to murder her during an ambush, but she was stopped by a Jedi team that was sent to capture her. Her second attempt to exact revenge on her master happened during the Clone Wars, when she trapped her in a cave following a laid bombing trap. However, before she could claim the Dark Woman's life, Singh was defeated and taken prisoner by Jedi Knight Aayla Secura. Singh would spend the rest of the war under the custody of the Republic. By the time of the Galactic Empire's reign, Singh was released from her holding cell by Darth Vader, as he wanted to test her abilities in killing Jedi, in hopes of possibly having her serve as a possible Inquisitor. However, her failure to capture the Jedi she was tasked in hunting likely ended any other plans Vader had for her. Following that brief interaction with Vader, Singh continued as a bounty hunter, where she was largely forgotten about by the rest of the galaxy over the years. She had no confirmed death in the original expanded universe, but she was said to have died in canon after being pushed to her death by a pirate named Beckett. Thanks for watching this video. Help support the channel by becoming a member on our Patreon page, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.